Hey friends, welcome to Sassy AF TV and the Sassy AF Audio Experience, Season 3, Episode 3, Simple, Sustainable, and Fun Self-Care. I recently had the opportunity to speak on a panel about self-care for a virtual summit hosted by the National Association of Women Business Owners, or NAWBO. It was such an honor to be asked to give this presentation, and I wanted to share it with you here on the podcast because self-care is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. But I'm not talking about self-care that only involves bubble baths, champagne, and a mani-pedi. That is one of my favorite luxuries, however. What I'm sharing about is self-care that is simple, sustainable, and fun. Self-care that you do every single day. Self-care that lifts you up, inspires you, and motivates you to live your best life. I offer a lot of suggestions in this episode how to create a practice of self-care that will be sustainable in your life. And I know that this sort of support is exactly what we all need more of. If you want to chat more about self-care one-on-one, make sure to book a free consult with me. Check the show notes for the link. I would love to know you better. Let's dive into this week's episode. Hello, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm really thrilled to talk to you about one of my favorite topics today, self-care that is simple, sustainable, and fun. Hi, my name is Hallie Avolio, and I am the president and founder of Sassy Healthy Fit, a lifestyle brand intended to empower in-demand women to prioritize themselves without guilt. Sounds pretty good, right? But maybe your first question is, what is an in-demand woman, or who is an in-demand woman? An in-demand woman is most likely you. She is a woman who has a lot of demands on her time by choice, and she craves taking care of herself. And yet sometimes she struggles because life gets in the way and it can be complicated. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help and to create community and to create resources and to teach in-demand women how to step into their power and to really put themselves first. And it has to start with self-care. So you might be wondering, well, who the heck am I to be able to teach you, make these claims, and help guide you to this place of magical self-care? Let me tell you a little bit about my story. It all started in a dressing room with horrible lighting. How many of you have been there? So many times. But in all honesty, the dressing room with horrible lighting was the crux of my journey and what propelled me to get into this work to help women prioritize themselves and put themselves first. I was a classic overachiever, type A personality, firstborn. You know how it goes. I did all the things. I checked all the boxes. I went through school through high school with honors. I went through college in 4 years with honors. I got the really amazing corporate job right out of college, and I started 1 week after graduation so I could finally be an adult. Sometimes being an adult isn't all it's cracked up to be, is it? So I went on with my sales career, working for a Fortune 100 company. I kicked ass at my sales career. I was board of directors. I was called up on stage at our president's club. I got promoted to be a manager and got to take care of a team of 9 sales representatives. I thought I had hit the jackpot, but it turns out it wasn't really all it was cracked up to be. I learned a lot. That was cool. It wasn't super fulfilling in my heart, in my spirit. I also, in college, met my now husband of 17 years. He is my best friend, my life partner. Amazing. We got married shortly after I graduated from college. We have 3 kids. I also thought that was like the thing that I wanted in my life more than anything in the whole world. I want to be a mom. Okay, I love my kids and I really love being a mom, but that wasn't my thing either. Okay, so corporate job, climbing up the corporate ladder, thought would be my thing, not so much my thing. Stay-at-home mom, 3 kids, thought would be my thing, not so much my thing. So, where's a girl to go next? Nowhere else to go except self-destruction land, because I had set myself up for so much of this life that I thought I had to achieve. And then when it wasn't working out the way that I wanted and I wasn't feeling fulfilled or passionate or as though I had any purpose in my life, what else would I do except try to destroy it all? So that wasn't really a great idea. However, when you have a complete meltdown, sometimes in that dressing room with horrible lighting, it can lead to a breakthrough. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly why I'm here today, because I don't want you to go through that breakdown like I did. I want you to start taking care of yourself right now, right in this moment. Because if you can take care of yourself, if you can start practicing simple, sustainable, and fun self-care right now, your life will be that much better. You will feel more fulfilled. You will feel more passionate. You will feel more purposeful. You will reduce stress. You'll reduce disease. Okay, wait, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's slow down and back up a little bit. So after that tragic dressing room experience, I went through a transformation of sorts. I got myself in the right headspace. I also got myself in the right physical space. I had some work to do. I had some healing to do in my body, but mostly in my mind. And what I learned along the way is that there's a lot of work to be done when it comes to mindfulness. So that is what I am so passionate about. So in my business, Sassy Healthy Fit, what I do is I empower women to show up to be their very best selves every single day. I want to help them dismantle limiting beliefs about unworthiness, body image, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Let's get rid of that. Let's step into our power and really honor who we are as in-demand women so that we can thrive and be the best versions of ourselves so we can be the best versions everywhere else we are in the world. I create space for women to come together to talk about topics that are maybe taboo or not so often talked about. You know, like our periods and sex and relationships. Yes, these things are critical. They're important to our sisterhood. They're essential to who we are as women, and we have to be able to talk about them. And if we can't talk about them with other women, then we might as well just walk away. So I'm creating space and opportunity for these conversations to come out because they are of the utmost importance for us to thrive and to be our best selves every single day. I also want to encourage women to get rid of this victim mentality. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that life is so awful. Have you ever said that? Or maybe heard your best friend say that? We need to ditch the victim mentality. We need to stop worrying that life is happening to us and instead embrace that life happens for us. Life is here for us to enjoy and to live in abundance and to reap all the rewards that we want. But we have to believe it and we have to believe in ourselves. And I want to help teach you to get to that space. And lastly, I really want to create sisterhood because I believe in the power of community. I believe in the power of using our voice. I believe in the power of sisters coming together to share in like experiences, to lift each other up, to support one another, because that is how we can rise to be the best versions of ourselves. And today, I specifically want to talk to you about self-care and self-care that is simple, sustainable, and fun. I'm going to come back to that phrase again and again. So start thinking about that in your mind. Simple, sustainable, and fun. But let's first of all define what is self-care. So we hear this term all the time. Maybe you've heard of Self-Care Saturday, or maybe you've thought, ooh, I'm going to go have some retail therapy and that is my self-care. Or maybe you thought, oh, I am having a self-care day. I am taking a bubble bath. So those things are all absolutely wonderful. And I highly recommend them. Take your bubble baths, get your nails done, get a massage, go shopping. All those things are good and they do fuel you and make you feel good. But here's the thing about self-care. It has to go a little bit deeper than that. Self-care has to do with activities and people in your life that are aligned with your core values. I'm going to say that one more time. When you practice self-care, you are aligning yourself with your core values. Now, you might be thinking, I don't know what my core values are. So if that's true, that's okay. Don't panic. It's okay. Maybe by the end of this video, you'll have a better idea of what your core values are that you can start working with to define what self-care looks like for you. For me, my core values that I write down every day in my journal, and this is one of my self-care practices, so I'm going to sneak that in right here and drop that journaling is a self-care practice. So 4 of my core values that I write down every single day in my journal: energized, compassionate, leader, love. So when I am choosing what activities that I'm doing throughout the day or who I'm spending my time with, I think, are the people or the activities, are they in alignment with one of my core values, one or more? And if the answer is yes, then awesome. And if the answer is no, then I really have to consider, do I want to go through with this? Is it worth it? Is there an exception to be made? Because I want you to stay in flow. I don't want you to be in resistance. And when you're in flow, it's when you're in alignment with your core values. But self-care is very particular to each individual person. So you need to spend some time and figure out, what does self-care look like for me? It's going to be different than what self-care looks like for me. It's going to be different than what self-care looks like for your neighbor, for your sister, for your mother. You need to think about, what does self-care look like for you? And it can be a ton of different things. I'm going to give you a couple of examples that are a little out of the box and you might not think are self-care. If one of your core values has to do with things being organized, then perhaps when you spend some time organizing your house or doing the dishes or picking up your kids' clothes that they strewn all about the living room, that might be a form of self-care because you're doing something that makes you feel good at your core. So I want you to be very open-minded as you consider, what does self-care mean to you? So that's number 1. Self-care also has to be simple, sustainable, and fun, right? We already talked about that. And I'm going to keep coming back to simple, sustainable, and fun. If you overcomplicate it, you're never going to do it. I love to talk about habits with my clients because when you're thinking about how do you implement habits, like a morning routine, a nighttime routine, a healthy eating routine, an exercise routine, a sensual routine, how do you start making it a routine, a habit? Well, it has to be sustainable. If you start doing this complicated, crazy, detailed thing, you're never going to stick to it. So keep it simple. Has to be simple. That will help you keep it sustainable. Self-care should be something that you can do every single day. An activity that takes you no more than 10 minutes. Now, you can go longer than that. That's great. If you have more time to practice self-care every day, awesome. But my gut feeling tells me that as an in-demand woman, you're thinking 10 minutes sounds good. Another one of my self-care practices that I really enjoy and I've taken on in the last couple of years is meditation. So the way that I keep that simple and sustainable is I do once a day, a daily 10-minute meditation. That's it. It's once a day. It's guided. I don't have to think very hard about it. But I look forward to that every single morning. And I know that after my meditation, I will feel calmer, I will feel in alignment, and I will feel energized in the way that I want to feel energized. And that is one of my core values. So for me, meditation is absolutely a self-care practice that I can implement every single day. So if you have a pen and paper, I'd love for you to write down right now, what is 1 or 2 or 3 things that are maybe already in your day that you would consider to be simple and sustainable self-care. Something that takes you 10 minutes or less. The next piece of it is, remember, simple, sustainable, fun. This is my favorite part because, as you know, my business is called Sassy Healthy Fit. And I start with sassy because I feel as though if you are feeling sassy and fun, you are going to live your life to its fullest and you are just going to be thriving. So let's have some fun. It's really easy to take life so seriously. We have a lot of things going on. We've got work. We've got to take care of our household. We maybe have kids. We have to feed ourselves. Maybe we have to feed our pet. Maybe we have to feed our husband. Whomever. Maybe we have to feed our wife. Whatever we have to do, we have a lot of demands on our time. And it's really easy to get into this trap of taking life too seriously. So let's lighten up and have some fun. Self-care should be fun. One of the things that I do for fun, I love to dance. I love to dance. Now, I didn't actually know that I love to dance until about 7 or 8 months ago. And I started taking some classes before we went on social distancing. They were a ton of fun. I love them. And when we had to start being at home, I thought, how am I going to do my dancing? Well, guess what? I discovered a Zoom dance class, and it has been so fun. Every week, it's 1 hour. I look forward to that 1 hour dance class every single Thursday, and I love it because I get to move my body, I get to listen to music, and it makes me feel so alive and vibrant and fun. But you know what? I also put on music when I'm cooking and I dance around my kitchen. I'll dance in my shower. Sometimes I'll even dance when I'm in the grocery store to whatever music's playing overhead. The point is, have fun in your life. Find things in your life that you find to be fun and go with it. That is self-care. And that is how you align, you stay in flow, and you are a vibrant, in-demand woman. So, why do we need self-care? One of my favorite quotes that I keep on my screensaver on my computer so I can look at it every single day is, never give from the depths of your well, but from your overflow. And that's from Rumi. I'm going to say that again. Never give from the depths of your well, but from your overflow. If you don't fill your cup, how can you possibly show up for anybody else in your life? You cannot. And so therefore, it is essential that you put yourself first and you practice self-care every single day. I hear all the time from clients before they start working with me, but Hallie, I don't have time. I mean, it sounds really great. Yes, I would love to practice self-care, but I don't have time. I'm going to call you on that one. Because my guess is you do have time. You do have 10 minutes. You just are not prioritizing it. Because if we go a little deeper, you're not prioritizing yourself. You're not saying, I am worthy of 10 minutes of self-care. 10 minutes of self-care. Do you know how many minutes are in 24 hours? Let's take away the 8 hours or so that we're sleeping. So in 16 hours, I can't do math that quick in my head. But if you have 16 waking hours every single day, and you're telling me that you can't find 10 minutes for your self-care, we've got bigger problems and we need to get working right now. So that's something to think about. But when you practice self-care regularly, there are so many benefits to your life. So I want to go through a few just to reinforce why it's so critical that you start doing this every single day. Number one, when you practice self-care regularly, you decrease your stress levels. How many of us feel stress? Very frequently, especially right now, especially while we're dealing with everything that's going on in the climate of our world right now. You might not know it, but you're probably experiencing some form of stress. By practicing self-care, you are reducing the amount of stress on your body, on your mental state, and on your spiritual state, because you're doing something that's good for you and keeping you in flow and in alignment. And that is critical to your health. Number two, when you practice self-care on a regular basis, you will be a better parent, a better partner, a better coworker, a better friend, a better you. Who doesn't want that? When you practice self-care, you will be better for everybody else in your life because you are saying, I value myself. I'm taking care of myself first. And then I will be able to show up for you in the way that I want to. Because I know you and I know how much you value those people in your life, and you should. And I know that you want to show up in the best way possible for them. But you have to start by showing up in the best way possible for yourself. Number three, when you practice self-care regularly, you will be more successful. Yes. Who doesn't want to be more successful? More money, better position at work. You'll have more abundance of everything that you desire in your life. Maybe it's more travel. Maybe it's nicer things in your home. Maybe it's more abundance of good friendships. Maybe it's abundance of good experiences. Really cool, amazing experiences. So if you want to have more success in all things in your life, then start by practicing self-care, because when you practice self-care, you're telling the universe, hello, universe, I'm taking care of me right now. And by taking care of me right now, I am attracting more abundance, more positivity, and more good into my life. Whether or not you believe in the law of attraction, which states what you believe will come to you, positive or negative, I believe that you practice the law of attraction by practicing self-care, by showing up for yourself every single day and saying to yourself and to the universe, I am putting myself first. You are creating a flow of abundance and opportunity to attract all the good that you want in your life. So if you want to continue to create more success, more happiness, more opportunities, then start by practicing more self-care. That sounds pretty good, right? Come on. We're going to be healthier. We're going to be a better partner to all the people in our life. We're going to have more success. And my fourth point, your health will benefit. It is proven that when you are less stressed, you have less risk of disease, less risk of mental health issues, less risk of inflammatory disease. You sleep better. You're able to move your body better without injury, all because you're taking care of yourself. These are all good things. Let's think about the ripple effect if you don't practice self-care. So if you go through life without practicing self-care and you're constantly giving, you're going to burn out. You're probably not sleeping. You're probably not eating well. Therefore, you're probably gaining weight, losing some of your cardiovascular health, positioning yourself for more disease, probably more grumpy, probably yelling at people, pushing away relationships with people that you actually really love. Do you see where I'm going with this? So if you want to eliminate those parts of life, then start by taking care of you. You have to start by taking care of you. So how do we do it? How do we start practicing self-care right now, right in this moment? I'm going to give you some tips. First of all, you just got to do it. Think of that little swoosh on Nike, right? Just do it. Choose one thing that you love. One thing. I told you, I've already told you several of mine. For me, journaling, meditation, dancing, listening to music, being with good friends that really fill my soul, reading a good book, having a challenging conversation with somebody, eating good food, watching comedy or something funny, or the Great British Baking Show, because I absolutely love that show and their accents are to die for. And who doesn't like looking at cakes for an hour? Maybe it's taking a walk, being out in nature, connecting with a new friend, discovering a passion that you didn't even know you had. Those are all examples of self-care. And none of those require a ton of time, a ton of money, a ton of effort. It's just getting started and doing something right now in this moment. One of my favorite recommendations for self-care. This is a little out there, maybe a little off the wall, so stay with me for a moment. But I want you to imagine when you were a child. Close your eyes. Think for a moment, visualize yourself somewhere between the age of 6 and 10. And I want you to think about what that little girl really loved. What did she do? How would she spend her time? If she didn't have to go to school or do her homework, what was she always yearning to do? Make a list. Make a list of those activities. Now, I want you to consider doing one of those activities because my guess is that that little girl inside you is still there and she wants to come out and play and have fun And that is where you can find some self-care. So if you're looking for an idea and thinking, I do not know where to start with this, close your eyes, visualize yourself as a little girl, and ask her what she wants to do, how she wants to play. I got another couple ideas of where you can find some self-care inspiration. Ask your friends. Yeah, ask your friends. I know we're women. We never want to ask for help, right? We're like, oh, I know this all. I can do this myself. Queen of that. Okay. Get rid of that idea and go call up your friend or text or Facebook message or whatever. Go on Instagram, whatever you need to do. Communicate with your friends and say, hey, how do you practice self-care? I need some ideas. So simple. Ditch your ego. Call your friend. It's like that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Call a friend. It's your lifeline. Do it. And lastly, I want to offer that if you are practicing self-care, you're implementing new habits, you're really wanting to start a new practice that's going to be simple, sustainable, and fun, and something that you are going to stick with because you know that it's going to make you a better person, then find a community, find an accountability partner, find people who can support you in this effort. Because if this is brand new to you, then sister, you're going to need some support. We all need support, especially when we do something new, right? And I would love to invite you. I have a very supportive online community through Facebook. It's free. I would love to invite you to be part of it. If you're interested, you can go to facebook.com/groups/my-sassy-life and join us. You are all welcome. And it's an amazing supportive community that I would gladly welcome you to be a part of. But even if that's not the solution for you, tell your best friend. Say, hey, best friend, I'm starting a new practice of self-care and I'm feeling a little bit unsure, a little vulnerable. I would love some support. You want to do this with me? Can we check in with each other each day and see how it's going? It's that simple. Don't overcomplicate it. I know we all overcomplicate it. So don't do that. Simple, sustainable, and fun. So that's all I got for you today. I hope this was helpful. I hope that this was at least a launching point for you to start thinking about how to implement self-care in your everyday life, because I believe passionately in implementing self-care to live our best lives, to thrive as in-demand women, and to really take care of ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. I would also love to connect with you more. So I hope that you will reach out to me. You can find me. I already mentioned my Facebook group, so I'll say it one more time. Facebook.com/groups/my-sassy-life. You can also find me on Instagram at Sassy Healthy Fit. Facebook, same handle at Sassy Healthy Fit. You can find me on LinkedIn under Hallie Avolio. I'm all over social media. Also, I've got a really cool podcast. So check that out on iTunes or Spotify. It's called the Sassy AF Audio Experience. And if you want to hear more from me, trainings, teachings like this one, and interviews with amazing guest speakers, definitely listen to the podcast. You will not be disappointed. New episodes come out every Tuesday. Thanks for being here. Thanks for allowing me and sharing space with me to come in here and talk to you about self-care. It has been a true honor and a true pleasure. And I really hope that you will reach out to me and tell me what is one takeaway, one way that you're going to start practicing self-care that is, wait for it, simple, sustainable, and fun. Thanks so much. I look forward to hearing from you. Now that you have a better picture of what simple, sustainable, and fun self-care looks like, do you feel more confident that you can create these routines for yourself? I would love to know what you plan to add in to your lifestyle to take better care of you. Thanks again for being here and tuning in for another episode of Sassy AFTV. It would mean the world to me if you would leave a comment and take a screenshot to share it with your tribe on Instagram or Facebook. Don't forget to tag me at Sassy Healthy Fit. Then make sure to head over to sassyhealthy.fit and sign up for our mailing list so you always know the latest and greatest in sassy fun. See you next time.